What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison, man, bringing you another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. If this is your first time here, we do a few things here on the podcast. The first thing we do, it's extremely important with everything going on in the world, with everything going on the internet. It's extremely important that we have detailed, important conversations about the different things that we go through in our community. Now, this can be with our children. This can be with the relationship with the woman or man that we're with. This can be from a political landscape. I'm not a political activist or don't claim to know a whole bunch about the shit, but I research a little bit, and I think it's still important to have these type of conversations. So on this show, we discuss a lot of different things going on in the community. We have fun. We let our hair down a little bit, but when the situation in the country is more serious, then the shows tend to be a little more serious. So we have detailed and intriguing conversations about things that matter. Also on the show, my favorite part of the show is we discuss black businesses. If we look at the economy as far as black people are concerned, as far as melanated people are concerned, we fall pretty far back from other races of people, and I think that's one of the reasons is because of the systematic injustices that we've had to face. But another part of that is we don't support each other the way we need to. A black dollar doesn't circulate in our community more than once or twice, opposed to white community or Arab community where it's 6, 7, 8, 9 times, right? So it's important that we figure out ways to support each other. So on the show, I do something called a Black Business Spotlight, where I talk about different black businesses in the community that I find, whether it be online, whether it be talking to somebody and they tell me about a business that they have. All I request is that the business that I speak about have their own website, just because I'm in Sacramento, California, but I want to make sure if I talk about your product, someone in New Jersey can get it, right? Someone in Dallas can get it. I want to make sure that the whole melanated family in this country has access to your product. So we talk about the black businesses. Also, what I talk about here on the show is we talk about different news stories going on in the melanated community. The news stories are specifically based on things that we go through and things that are going on that has to do with us, so we can get a clear perspective on how we need to move forward. And again, these news stories, some of them are kind of negative or speak on a negative manner. Some of them are positive, but it's all things that go on in our community. And it's my opinion, as black people, as melanated people, you need to be informed on what's going on in the country when it comes to the people, when it comes to your people, right? So I encourage everybody to read every day, to think outside of the box every day, even if it's just a newspaper, if it's a book, if it's a website that you like. Try to read and try to, practice critically thinking about things, right? So we talk about news stories, and I give my perspective on the news story, but ultimately I just want you guys to know what's going on, right? Also, what I need everybody to do, if you're watching the show on YouTube, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button to my Melanated Fathers TV YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, which again is Melanated Fathers TV. On the YouTube channel, you'll find this podcast. On the YouTube channel, you'll find like a History Matters section where I break down different things that have happened throughout history. On the YouTube channel, you'll also find the different videos from melanated people in our society, scholars, community activists, critical thinkers. Sometimes I'll post videos from other people that I think can be used to inspire my community, you feel me? So if you haven't done so already, go to Melanated Fathers TV, subscribe to the YouTube page, hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. That's how it's gonna go, right? So let's get everything set. Oh, and also another part of what I do, I have a website called melanatedfathers.com. melanatedfathers.com, and it kind of follows the same thread. On this website, we write articles about parenting. On this website, a lot of the news stories, most of the news stories that I speak of come from this website that we put together. On the website, there's also a History Matters section on the website. So if you prefer to read about the particular person or the time in history that I'm speaking of, you'll be able to read about it opposed to watching a video. Also on melanatedfathers.com, it is we have a book of the month that we do every month. So me starting Melanated Fathers of America, which is my organization, this was really inspired by my experiences being a father of 5 at 40 years old, having 4 kids by the time I was 24 years old, right? So the website for me is more or less me looking at, okay, if I was 21 or 22 years old, if I can take myself back to that time in fatherhood, what should I know? Like, what type of information should I consume to make me the best version of myself, right? And that's how I think. When I'm constructing the articles, when I'm constructing the news stories, I think about the young men in my community. Now, the website is for everybody in our community. Everybody can enjoy it. But my angle, y'all, and my approach to all of this is young black men, right? Just to make sure that we think the correct way. When it comes to addressing racism, when it comes to addressing the inequities that we face in our community, I think a lot of this starts with creating pride in your race, like being a prideful melanated person. And a lot of that, to me, starts with knowledge. If you gain knowledge of where we come from, if you gain knowledge of a lot of the different things we've had to go through to get to this point, that can make you more prideful in who you are and who you can and where you come from, right? It's already fucked up enough that we are damn near stolen Africans. You want to call us African Americans, but I mean, shit. In reality, in America, a lot of us are stolen Africans. Some people argue the point that we were here before we were the Indians, whatever that, I mean, that could be true as well. But the bottom line is, a lot of us, you know, we are searching for something, right? Like having these last names that don't have shit to do with being an African, it makes it difficult, right? So my shows, everything I do, I'm trying to reconnect us with who we really are. So go to melanatedfathers.com. If you've never done so, look at the website. Let me know what you think about it, right? Like, I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. I'm trying my best to continue to expand, continue to provide a platform that's positive and people can learn from, right? So read the articles, read some of my stories, tell me what you think about it, right? Now, let's get started. First thing we'll do here is get to the Black Business Spotlight, is what I like to call it, right? So, first business of the day. Now, again, a lot of these businesses that I tell you guys about, family, we currently are using these products. The products we're currently using may be by somebody black, but a lot of times you go to Walmart, you go to a store, you just picking up whatever you see, right? A lot of us don't spend the necessary time to actually seek out a black business. That's why I'm gonna put it right in your lap, family. And a lot of these products are things that we use every day, right? So the first business for today is a company by the name of Food is Life, right? Food is Life. The website, foodislife01.com. foodislife01.com. This is a company that sells spices and sauces. This company was started by a chef named Brian Davis. His wife helps him. Her name is Stephanie Davis, and he's created like a honey mustard sauce, a buffalo sauce, a barbecue sauce, a chipotle ginger spice. There's a chicken rub, an espresso rub, chipotle curry, a ranch rub, house seasoning. So these are seasonings that you can use for your food, family, right? These are seasonings that you can use for your food. And like I said, we use these products anyway. Most of us are cooking every day. Most of us are just going into the grocery store and getting whatever seasoning that we're familiar with. Family, it's time to start supporting our own. This brother and this sister have put a lot of time into perfecting this product, so I think we should give them a shot. If you subscribe to the website, you can get 10% off. You can get 10% off. All you have to do is put in the code NEW. He also wanted to let you guys know that his products are vegan friendly. They are fresh to order, and if you're in the local area, I forgot which city and state he's in, but if you're in his local area, they also do curbside. They also do curbside deliveries as well, you know, based on everything going on right now with the COVID thing. And if you're in their city, they can help you out with that, right? So this is foodislife01.com. Spices, sauces. Let's get this thing right, family. We always, come on now. You know how much we love, you know how much black folks love barbecuing. You know how much we love adding seasoning to all of our shit, right? Cool. Like, we need to get to the point, and this is my opinion, family. We need to get to the point that when it's time to buy a product, we search in our community first. We live in a system damn near run by Caucasian people to a degree, right? So to a degree, you can't get around spending your money with the dominant society. But I think before we buy a product, it's incumbent upon all of us to at least search for someone black who sells that same product. So first you search for the product. Next, you have to make sure the product is legit. Like, just because you're black and I'm black, that don't mean I'm gonna give you my hard-earned money. You have to have a quality product, right? The only difference between your product and another product that's high quality that I can buy is that you're black. right? We shouldn't accept a lesser quality product just because someone looks like us. I mean, let's get this thing right, man, and do good business. So everybody, do me a favor, man. Do me a favor and go to this website. I went to the website. The spices and the seasonings aren't that expensive at all, right? They aren't that expensive at all with this COVID-19 thing going on. Most of us, whether you agree with the validity of the coronavirus or not, a lot of us are being precautious about this, or being cautious about this, and we're staying home. We're not going out as much. Order your spices, man. Order your spices. This is a great time just to try it out, right? Like, we need to give our people a shot a lot of times, man. And something else I want to say, we need to give black businesses the same leeway we give everybody else. If you order something from a black business, and let's just say they get your address wrong, let's just say you get the wrong seasoning in the box for whatever reason, let's not go on this shit where that's why I don't support black businesses, they never do me right, that's why, because when it's some negative shit, we'll hold on to that and preach that message. But the company we pay our water bill to, they be rude to us. The employees inside of Walmart, they rude. Whoever you paying your cell phone bill to, you can call them, they be giving you shit. You still stay with them. You see what I'm saying? We've learned to accept how people outside of our community treat us as just, that's how they are type of shit. But we still do business with them. We still give them our hard-earned money. So I say we do the same thing with people in your community. Give them the benefit of the doubt. If you order something from, and this is not just speaking about food is life, because I'm not saying that they're going to do you wrong or anything. I'm just saying in general, we need to give our people the benefit of the doubt. If something is wrong or you have a suggestion, hit them in a DM real quick. Don't publicize the shit. Hit them in a DM. Let them know privately, hey, this was my experience with you. I want to continue to spending money with you, but this is what happened, right? So let's give our people a shot, man. Everybody, do me a favor and support the brother Brian Davis, who is actually, he's a chef, and he went to Le Cordon Bleu. He graduated from there, so the brother's official. You know what I mean? He know what he's doing when he mixing up these spices. They do it right out of their house. And this is, every time I see somebody from our community that is attempting to forge their own path, there is nothing wrong with working a job. We have to eat. We have to survive. There is nothing wrong with working and being a hard-working person, working with someone else's company. But let's be honest, family. If you're working for somebody else's company, for the most part, you making a dream come true. For the most part, you helping generate wealth for their family. So every time I see somebody who's willing, has the audacity, has the fortitude to step outside of that and say, you know what, I'm going to create something for myself, right? I'm going to create something for myself. I mean, look, man, you know how creative we are. You know how many things we've invented throughout history. Like, we the shit. There's nobody like us. So when I see people in my community deciding to create things, I want to get behind it 110% because I'm excited about it. If food is life becomes successful, if they become $1 billion business, it helps all of us. You know how many people they'll be able to employ. You know how many people they'll be able to inspire, right? So one of us do good, all of us do good. Go to Food is Life 01 today. Get your spices. Tell me how it tastes. You feel me? All right. Feel good today, y'all. Shit. All right. Next business. The next business is the Green Baker LLC, right? So you ask, what is the Green Baker LLC? Now, if you're like me and you how can I put it? enjoy the effects of municipal marijuana, right? Because it does help, like on some real shit. A lot of people in our community or in the world struggle with different ailments, and they rely on pharmaceuticals and they rely on their doctor to help them out. I'm not knocking that, but at the end of the day, sometimes you need things more natural to assist you, right? So the Green Baker LLC is a sister out of Florida who makes delicious brownies. She makes her own butter. She has different types of elixirs, and all of these are infused with marijuana. So if you are in a position where you have different pains and ailments, if you're in a position where you can't sleep, if you have anxiety, like, real talk, family, there are municipal reasons why someone would want to smoke weed. You know what I mean? Like, everybody who do it It ain't on some I just want to get high and fuck up my life shit. If used properly, just like with anything else, there can be several benefits in it for you, right? So not only does she have different delectables that you can buy and eat. She has the butter. The sister also told me that she has a cannabis cooking class, right? If you're not in the Florida area, this cannabis cooking class can be virtual, right? So you can learn how to make little dishes. Because look, I know people who don't like smoking weed, like to actually smoke it and inhale it. They don't like the feeling, right? So in today's society, you don't have to smoke weed if you don't want to. You can put it in your food. You can eat it in different type of edibles. There's a lot of different ways to consume. There's CBD, you feel me? So there's ways to consume the marijuana without necessarily getting high even. Just trying to get the positive effects out of it that can actually help your body, right? So the sister's website is thegreenbaker.com. That's spelled TheGreenBaker.com. That's TheGreenBaker.com, thegreenbaker.com. You can find her if the website doesn't suit you, you can find her on Facebook, which is the Green Baker LLC. When it comes to, if you're interested in the cooking class, and if you're in the Florida area, she also offers small catering services. Like she makes dinners and infuses the marijuana in the particular dinner that you're interested in for like small occasions or a small dinner. She'll come and do it up for you. You feel me? Because people are thinking that if you put a small amount of marijuana in some food or something you're eating, that it's gonna be nasty or that's gonna have an overwhelming taste of marijuana, and that's just not the case. So if you're interested in experiencing the benefits of municipal marijuana and don't want to smoke the weed, this is a great way to infuse it into something that you eat every day. So everybody go to thegreenbaker.com. That's TheGreenBaker.com. The sister said, again, the cannabis cooking classes, virtual if need be. If you need to order something for her, if you don't want to do it online or you don't want to go to her Facebook page, you can call the sister at 954-546-4119. Again, that's 954-546-4119. And again, this because again, I put up a post on Facebook asking people, I want to talk about black businesses on my podcast. Who should I talk about? Who should I lean towards? And this sister reached out to me, as well as the Food is for Life company. And I love it, man. I love it, y'all. These are our people, man. In the times we're in right now, do you know how monumental this period of time is? Do you know how monumental this period in time is for our community, for our people? This shit is going to be in the history books. And the question you should be asking yourself is, what side of history are you going to be on, right? Revolutionary, let me explain something to you. Revolutionary acts can take place in several ways, right? You could be out there on the front line, marching, protesting, fist up, in a cop's face, doing what you got to do out there to bring attention to what happens to us. I'm not the biggest advocate of marching, but I understand my people and I'm with my people 100%, right? You could be out there marching. You can be a college-educated brother or sister who's taking the political route, where I am going to be a politician. I'm going to be a senator. I'm going to be a congressman. I'm going to do something politically to help my people out, right? You can be a business owner look, family, it's several ways that we can help our community. If you don't have a business, that's fine. Support a business. That can be your revolutionary act. Every month, I'm going to spend $100 with a black business. That's revolutionary, family. That's revolutionary. You ain't got to have on a dashiki with your fist in the air to be considered a revolutionary person. It ain't about talking all the time. It's about action, right? So we need to support our people in our community who step outside of the box to provide for them, for their family, who step outside of the box to build some type of lineage and wealth for their family, doing something that they love. A lot of people that I talk to, when I look at their website, when I look at their face, I can tell they love what they do, right? How many of us can say that we're actually living our dream? How many of us can say that we're actually doing something that we love to do, something we would do for free, right? So we need to get behind people in our community that are passionate, and I urge you to look for your passion. Again, nothing's wrong with working. We need money. Come on now. We see how expensive everything is. We see with all this corona shit, people losing jobs, the economy is upside down. I get all that. But what do you do for yourself? What steps are you taking to make yourself happy? Are you a coach? Are you going to start your own business? Are you going to start an organization? Are you going to help out an organization? Are you going to feed the homeless? What you going to do, right? We all need to be seeking something outside of the rat race that we find ourselves in. If you want happiness, that shit got to come from within, family. You feel me? And a part of this revolutionary process, a part of our evolving process, is to attack the areas in our community that need it the most. And our finances are extremely important. I mean, it needs to get to a point where I can walk right down the street and buy whatever I need from somebody black. You know how tired I'm getting of seeing other people in our community making money off us, whether it be Arabs, whether it be Asian, and I don't give a fuck how nice they appear to be. The bottom line is you sending your kids to college with our money, right? We need to be in their fucking communities having a store, selling food to them, whatever the case may be, right? So everybody, do me a favor and go to thegreenbaker.com. That's TheGreenBkr. Just look around the website. And again, her food, excuse me, family, this damn rock star. Her food or her bakery products, the elixirs, it's not really expensive either. Family, we spend a lot of money, and I'm going to keep saying this every show, we spend a lot of money with people outside of our community. We spend a lot of money on frivolous shit. Let's circumvent some of that and make sure we be more cognizant about what we're doing. That's what I'm here for, family. To make sure you can have fun, you can chill out, you can watch whatever you want to watch on TV. I'm not the moral police. Do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you feel good. But be black first. Right? Right? I'm a melanated man, a black man, before my religious denomination, before any fraternity I belong to, before any job that I have. Right? My first title is black, melanated, right? And I'm going to look after my people. That's my first job here on earth, for me. People can see it differently, but for me, that's what I am first. Everything else comes under that. So the support of my people, making sure the integrity of my people is in place, I care a lot about that. And like I said, this is a historic time in history, and the question remains, what side of history are you going to be on? You feel me? Now, that's it for the two businesses. And again, once the show is over, I'll post the businesses below. I'll post the businesses below the video with their website and everything, so you can see it. You can try them out, give them a shout out, spread the word, right? And after you buy something, if you go to one of the websites and buy something, tell somebody, right? Like, not all of us, but a lot of us use our social media for just frivolous shit. Right? You can actually use your social media. Even, let's say you're not ready to buy nothing from foodislife01.com, right? You can go to the website, check it out, look at some reviews, see how everything is going. You can just tell your friends, hey, next week I'm going to get some spices from this company. Y'all should too, right? You know how some of us have influence in the circles that we run in. So if we said, hey, I'm supporting this business, you should too. I'm supporting this business, why don't you try them out? How many of your partners, how many of your friends would actually believe you or go with what you say, right? That's how it works. So let's support each other. Let's be there for each other. TheGreenBaker.com. Go there today. All right. That is it for the businesses. Now it's time for the news stories, right? And like I said, family, I bring up news stories that interest me, that has to do with our community, that I think we need to talk about. All right. So, first story. This is something that happened in April of 2019. I'm not sure what city this is in, but understand the point. A black man named Derek Thompson was pulled over, right? He was pulled over for driving with suspended license, and the tags on his car were expired as well, right? So I'm basing this off the article I wrote and articles I've seen in a video. So this young man posted a video online, and again, this incident is from April of 2019. He posted a video online of him. He's in the car, he's pulled over, he has his phone out, and he's basically telling the officer, look, my hands are up, I'm not doing anything, officer, I'm not doing anything. This racist ass, bold ass cop reaches inside of his car, unlocks the door. Well, actually, he reaches inside of the car, rolls down the window, unlocks the door, and he's in the video, like he's in the camera, telling him, He said some shit like, watch the show. When the young man was telling him, hey, I'm gonna put this online, watch what you do. The cop, arrogant ass, he like, watch the show, telling the people who's watching. You feel me? So ultimately, the cop gets frustrated with him because the brother's basically saying, hey, what did you do? Like, I mean, what did I do? Why are you inside of my car? Now, granted, this is something we need to be careful about. I don't know what happened before the video started, right? So I'm going to always say that. I don't know what happened before the video started. So I want to be completely contextual with what we're talking about. There can be a piece to this that's missing based on what we didn't see on camera. So I'm only going on what I seen on camera. But at the end of the day, they forcefully took this brother out of his car. The cop said, okay, now I'm upset. You got to 3 to put the phone down, or I'm going to drag you out of the car. Now, the question I have is, why is he being dragged out of the vehicle for expired tags and registrations? I've been in similar situations. What happened, right? What happened? So the video looks foul. The video looks like the cop was on some Rambo shit and just wanted to prove a point. And that can definitely be the case. That can definitely be the case. But one of the reasons why I'm bringing up this story, family, is because we need to understand how to approach getting pulled over by cops. Now, I'm not one. We all, as black men, as melanated men, we should be proud of who we are. Like, I'm not telling you don't stand on your shit. But how I view, and shout out to my brother Tariq Nasheed, he kind of helped me clarify this perspective. How I view being pulled over by the cops, if you're not ready at that moment to go to war with them, meaning you got gun, they got gun, what's up? If you're not ready to go to war with them immediately, you need to figure out a strategic way to get out of that situation because you behind enemy lines, dog. It's you, 2 or 3 cops all with guns. How you think that's gonna end, right? So I don't know what happened with the brother gets pulled over. Why not? It's just give me your license and registration because your tags are expired. Me go back to my car, write you a ticket, or tow the car with normal procedure. I don't know what prevented the normal procedure that we normally see from happening, but what the cop did was foul. Now, I don't know what the brother did prior. I don't know if the brother whipped out his phone once they asked him for his information. Maybe he whipped out his phone, you know what I mean? So as black men, melanated men, all my men out there, everybody actually, let's be smart about this thing, family. When we are in interactions with the cops, you are behind enemy lines, man. They got the system behind them, family. If you're not ready to bang out with them, which most of us aren't in those situations, I'm not telling you to tuck your tail, but let's be smart with these interactions with cops because we see how they do us, right? We see how they do us. So again, I don't know what happened prior to the video, but ultimately the young man was dragged out of his car. You can hear him saying, "Get off my neck." So they roughing him up. It's 3 cops. And man, I hate that shit. I hate how it's one dude in a car. All of a sudden, 1 car pull up, then 2 car pull up, then 3 car. What the fuck is it so many of y'all for? Why does it gotta be 3, 4, 5 cops when it's 1 person? And history shows cops just don't be getting shot like that, not to my understanding, right? Niggas just don't be killing cops like that, all willy-nilly to make you think, okay, I pulled this 1 dude over, now we gotta be 7 deep. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, what's up with all the backup? What's up with all the militarization of this shit? You know what I mean? And people need to understand, I'm happy the unfortunate situation with the brother George Floyd has brought about a lot of awareness, even though some of it may be kind of phony, but it's brought about a lot of awareness, and I appreciate that because this is nothing new, family. Like I always say, the original police officers in America were slave patrols. So the original police officer was here to make sure a slave was where he needs to be. You see what I'm saying? And in my opinion, that particular mentality is kind of what we see now with most police forces. And people always say, you know, all cops aren't bad. I say they are. Why? Okay. If your intentions is to be a fair person, then you have to be fair and just at every turn. So if you're a cop in a precinct and you know that there's cops in the precinct that do things foul or abuse their power, it's up to you to say something. Now, I understand that by saying something, you can be ostracized. By saying something, you can even be attacked in certain ways, right? So my question would be, if you're a fair person and you see you're kind of intertwining into like a institution that's kind of based on being unfair to a degree, why would you do it, right? Because some people say, and I have even been on this boat before, where I say, you know what, we need more black police officers. Maybe that'll solve the problem if the cop who arrests me or the cop who is speaking to me looks like me, comes from the same walk of life. Maybe he'll be more fair-minded. Maybe he'll look at me more like a human than a goddamn animal. And that may be the case, but at the end of the day, he's still integrating into like a sick industry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's to me, it's almost too late. You know what I mean? Too much shit didn't happen between citizens and the police officers. And when we see you with a cop uniform on, we're looking at the history of how people in that uniform has treated us. It's not even a personal thing, right? We're not looking at a particular black or white cop and saying, okay, fuck you. It's fuck all y'all. It's fuck the institution that you represent. And we constantly see the mistreatment of our people by a cop. Look, if you play for a team, right? Let's just say you played for a basketball team or a football team, and your football team was known for doing foul shit, right? Not you, maybe you haven't, but y'all known for doing foul shit. You walking around with that jersey on, and people see you with that jersey on, like, man, fuck you. I know that shit you was doing. You can't be, well, no, that wasn't me. No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else on my team. Same jersey, player. You got the same jersey on, player. You expect us to distinguish good from bad? Man, look, when cops get behind me, my heart starts racing. And all my shit legit. My heart starts, it's been that way. Man, you see what I'm saying? It's been that way since a small kid in my neighborhood, being from a impoverished neighborhood and watching police officers come around and treat my brothers and treat their friends like animals. Talk to them like animals, treat them like animals. That shit really happened. You see what I'm saying? I seen that with my own two eyes. So I understand how we have these race soldiers, as my brother Tariq Nasheed says, come into our communities and police us a lot different than they police white communities, right? So these are all things that I continue to talk about, all things that a lot of us continue to talk about. But these type of stories, I'm going to tell you, family, until this shit stops happening, I'm going to continue to report on them. But like I said, context is king. We need to make sure everything we're looking at is contextual. So I'm only going to speak on what I see from the video. It looks like those cops was foul. I think the brother Derek Thompson is filing a lawsuit. He should, because it looked like an unjust event that happened to the brother. Under this video, I'll post his video so you can be a judge of it on your own. But family, we need to be careful how we conduct ourselves when being pulled over by the police, because unfortunately you can make the wrong move and you can fuck around and not go home to your family. You feel me? So, next story that I want to talk about. Oh, this was an interesting thing to me that I want to bring up. We in the black community, the melanated community, a lot of us were raised getting whoopings, getting spankings, whatever the fuck you want to call it, getting your ass whooped, right? So a report came out, a study last fall that determined, and this is something I kind of figured, but it was interesting, a study that determined the correlation between the correlation between corporal punishment, so like students in school, because I went to school here in California, but I went to school in New Orleans before as well, and when you would get in trouble, they would whip out a paddle and whoop your ass, right? So this study is showing that there's a connection between the corporal punishment that children receive in schools and the historical lynchings of our people. And what this study says is, in the areas where there were more lynchings, and this makes sense to me, in the areas in America where there were more lynchings, the corporal punishment inside of schools happened more in those particular areas. They're basically showing a connection between just really how black people are treated in America, even from a child level, because currently corporal punishment is outlawed in all but 19 states. So most of the southern states still practice this way of thinking, but as we can see, it kind of all runs together. Because in these states where they would lynch us and mistreat us, it kind of boiled over into the school system as well, right? Because like I said, in the 80s in New Orleans, I got whooped with a paddle in the 2nd or 3rd grade, right? So how do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? One, should there still be any type of corporal punishment inside of schools? Should a teacher be allowed to whoop your kid ass? If a teacher whoops your kid, how are you going to respond to it? If the school told you, hey, look, a part of our curriculum, a part of how we handle business is if your 3rd grader get out of line, we're going to take his pants down and whoop his ass. You feel me? How would you feel about that? How would you respond to that, right? Because because that's one thing, but a bigger conversation we need to have in the melanated community is, should we still be whooping our kids? Like, what forms of discipline should we use to get our message across? Because being a 40-year-old man with 5 children, now I realize that a spanking, a whooping shouldn't be the first thing you turn to. I would say in a child's life, you should only have to, like a real badass whooping, a couple times in their life. You shouldn't have to whoop their ass, a badass whooping, more than a couple times. If so, then there are other things you need to look at. Because like I said, as I get older, I'm looking at my community and I see people who are parents who turn to corporal punishment or whooping the kid's ass because they're impatient, because they don't have the patience necessary to facilitate whatever needs to happen with the kids. Some of our kids are just acting out based on attention, right? If you work a lot, if you got a lot going on in your life, sometimes you may not pay your kid as much attention as they need, and this can cause them to act out. This can cause them to begin doing things that'll make you feel like you need to whip their ass. Now, it could be the dad not being there. It can be economics not being right. It can be your living situation, right? So the bigger thing we should look at, because when we look at us whooping our kids, this is, in my opinion, this is directly linked to slavery, family. This is how we were treated by the slave master. We were disciplined in this particular way, and this is how we chose to discipline our children and just people around us, right? And in my opinion, we also would whoop our kids, and I think some of us now suffer from this, right? If you see a white kid sometimes in a store or in an environment where there's a lot of people, the parent is typically really laxed. They just allowing them to run around. They just allowing them to do whatever, right? And we see that as like, damn, control your kid. But in the slavery days, the mothers understood, if I don't make sure my kid does things the right way, if I don't whip him myself to make sure he doesn't walk this straight line, then when he get outside, master gonna whoop his ass. You see what I'm saying? So in those times, we were more or less trying to prevent our kids from feeling the wrath of white supremacy, so we'd whoop their ass ourselves. You know what I mean? This would even go even farther when a black mother who was a slave realized the possibility of the slave master selling her son. Maybe her son seemed smart, or he seemed like he was gonna be a Brock young man, like a real strong young man. She didn't want him to be sold away, so she would say, don't take him, master, he's stupid. He's stupid. He don't know how to do nothing. You ain't gonna want him. He's stupid. You see what I'm saying? So all these psychological things we had to do just to prevent the pain and the anguish from getting your ass whipped or having your family sold away, right? So a lot of the things that we partake in, family, the way we eat, the way we treat each other, a lot of the things that we partake in comes directly from slavery. It comes directly from how we were treated when we got here, right? And I'm not telling you what to do with your kids, but we need to begin to unpack and unlearn a lot of these toxic and negative behaviors that we've taken on simply based on the unjust treatment that we've had to go through all these years. You feel me? So it was an interesting story, you know, and it's basically saying that a lot of the lynchings and a lot of the things going on with the school system, that kind of took place between 1865 and 1950. They did a research of all of the lynchings that happened between that time, and they seen the correlation between the places where there was a high amount of lynchings. There was also corporal punishment in the school system. So pretty much the racism was running rampant. You feel me? Not just against the adults in the community, but against our children as well. And it also went on, the end of the article went on to state how just in school in general, the white supremacy we have to deal with in schools in general, where black kids are suspended more than white kids are. You know what I mean? So the injustices that we face, family, it's, and again, this show, family, we will have more lighthearted topics at times, but when there's a lot of shit going on in the country, when there's a lot of shit black people are being faced with, we have to address some of these things, right? We have to have difficult conversations. A lot of times we want to have fun, we want to relax, and all that shit is cool, but we need to have meaningful, well thought out conversations about where we are in this country. You feel me? So next story. So again, we gotta watch how we whoop our kids. Your child should have like a healthy amount of fear for you. They shouldn't be scared of you, but they should be scared of what you may do. You know what I'm saying? They need to have a healthy fear for you, because all too often, speaking to my people, I see my people and I see your kid running around and you don't appear to have control over the situation. And like I was just saying a few minutes ago, we do live in a white supremacy-based society, so the cops ain't gonna have no remorse for your kid. The teachers, like 80-90% of the teachers are white women who don't live in our neighborhoods, right? So they're not gonna have any remorse for your kid. So making sure your child is disciplined, just like I was just saying about how the mothers in slavery did, that shit is real, family. If your kid doesn't have any discipline, unfortunately, they may have to go outside of your house and be disciplined by somebody that don't look like you. And they're not going to have the same empathy and the love and, the fortitude to want to make your child a better person. They looking at this little black kid like, get the fuck out of here. I'm about to put your ass in jail, right? Because we got to understand that our children, a 12-year-old black kid is seen as a grown man to a Karen, or a goddamn Ken, a white man who do the same shit Karen do. You know what I mean? They look at our children as adults. So we got to be cognizant of how all these things work, family. Now, next story, last story too. So we all remember the story of Amy Cooper, right? Amy Cooper was a white lady who was in Central Park. She had her dog out in Central Park. The dog was running around all loose, doing what the fuck he wanted to do. A brother named Christian Cooper, no relation, Christian Cooper, was bird watching. While he was bird watching, he said, "Hey, put your dog on the leash." That caused a downhill spiral. This lady went crazy on him, calling him all kind of names. Eventually, she called the police on him. And obviously, it was a faulty claim because he didn't do shit to her, right? She damn near choking the shit out of her little dog, which she got the dog back. She shouldn't have got the dog back. That was some sucker shit. But she's carrying the dog around, choking him. You know what I mean? Now, the Manhattan district attorney was going to file charges against her, right? And this would have been big. Like, this type of thing would have been important, because this going through could have been monumental, because it could prevent these type of things from happening again, right? But the brother Christian Cooper declined to press charges. He says that she's already been dragged through the mud. She lost her dog. Well, she lost her job. She lost her dog for a small amount of time. She's been publicly ridiculed. So he's saying she's been through enough already. Why keep dragging her through the mud? Now, the brother's sister came out. I think her name is Shirley Cooper. She came out, Stephanie Cooper, I think. She came out and said, "No, I don't agree with my brother. He should have pressed charges." And I agree with the sister, man, because this is like, African people, we are so damn forgiving. We are so damn empathetic. Like, we can't do that shit all the time, man. This was a monumental opportunity to not only get her, to put her in jail, because this ain't about her. This is about all the other brothers who get the police called on them. And this is what his sister was trying to tell him. This is about all the other brothers that get the police called on them, right? Who didn't get a fair shake, who got the police called on him, and he could have showed up and killed him, or showed up and brought him to jail, and now he has to make all these adjustments in his life over someone white just calling the police on him, and him just being black in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? So getting laws and legislation passed is like one step closer to making sure this shit don't happen again. So the brother Christian Cooper, in my opinion, he dropped the ball. There's no way possible this woman should have been let off the hook. Now, I understand what he's saying. She's been drugged through the mud just a little bit. But so what, bro? Like, we need to make a stand here. Like, she needs to be made an example out of. How they make an example out of our ass when we do shit, she needs to be made an example out of. You need to be thinking about, this is why I say it's important that we have like a collective mindset. When I make decisions, of course, I'm thinking about my family, but I'm also thinking about my community as a whole. Like, how is this going to affect all of us, right? And that's something I don't think he kind of grasps to a degree. He needs to realize how important it was to actually file charges on her ass. And whatever she got to go through to, I mean, so what? So what? We got to go through shit every day. We got to go through shit every day based on how this system treats us, right? So in any time we can find ourselves in a position where we can use the system against someone racist, use the system against someone who thinks unjustly about us, we got to do it, family. We got to do it. And as we can see, since that video, even before that video, we're seeing all these videos of Karens. We're calling it Karen, and we're trying to make a spoof out of it, kind of, but this is some serious shit, family. How many brothers have been put in jail based on a phone call, right? And this started, we talk about this Karen shit, but I mean, Emmett Till was, he was the victim of the first Karen, right? The white young lady who said Emmett Till raped her, she came out on her deathbed and said that was a lie, which was some bullshit, right? She still should have got persecuted to me. She still should have went to jail to me. But this is historical shit. I mean, that's why it's important that we teach our kids about history. That's why it's important that we learn about history, to understand that none of this shit is new. None of this shit is new. A lot of the race riots that we've seen throughout history, a lot of the race riots that have taken place in this country started with this same type of incident. A white woman making a false claim against somebody black, and there's a downhill spiral. Like, that's the only thing they needed to hear. That's the excuse they needed to hear to go into our community and burn shit up. When we look at Black Wall Street being destroyed, Tulsa, Oklahoma, same thing. Young man in the elevator. Young man gets on the elevator. Young black man gets on the elevator. He falls. Gets on the elevator and falls, and while he's falling, he grabs the white girl, and I think he brings her down with him. She, hysterical, runs out of the elevator. Oh, he raped me, he raped me, he raped me. Now they go into our community, burned 600 and something businesses down, and how did it start? A fucking Karen. See? So we need to be cognizant of where we are in history, and I understand having love for people and being forgiving and empathetic, but sometimes we need to put that shit to the side, family. If we dealing with devils, if we dealing with people who aren't empathetic, if we're dealing with people who are vicious towards us, we got to be the same way. Like turning the other cheek shit, not 2020, family, not at all. So Christian brother, I understand your sentiments, but hell no. As a community, we need to persecute the people who deserve it, and Amy Cooper definitely deserved it. Now, that's it for the news stories. That's it for the news stories. Just what I want to talk about today. This is the topic of the show. Freedom of speech, but watch what you say. I'll say that again. Yes, we have freedom of speech, but you have to watch what you say. Now, by now, everybody is aware of what has been taking place with my brother Nick Cannon. He had Professor Griff on his show called Cannon's Class. Great show, by the way. On his show, they talked about their views on America. They talked about some things based in history about Jewish people, about black people being the original Jews. From my understanding, it's true. I've read a little bit about it. I've watched a lot of information about it. To my understanding, we're kind of the original, as far as all religions are concerned. We were the original people who began conducting ourselves in these religions. To my understanding, Nick, from what I understand, spoke the truth on that show. That's how it seemed to me, like he was speaking the truth, right? Now, after that show, a whirlwind happened. He got fired from Viacom. Downhill spiral from there. And I'm still supporting the brother. Like, I appreciate everything that he's been attempting to do for our community. I'm not a part of this whole cancel culture where somebody make a mistake and you say fuck them, throw them out. We don't got the ability to do that, so I don't even rock like that. But afterwards, because again, I rock with my brother Nick. What he did, what he said, I appreciate. Giving him the anti-Semitic claim, just on some real shit, family. That's confusing to me. I need to know, what did he say that was anti-Semitism? What did he say that was wrong, right? Maybe you didn't like what he said. Maybe you didn't like what he said, but I haven't heard anyone disprove anything that he said. That's what I'm waiting for, because I'm all for learning. Like, if I know I'll be on my black shit, but if somebody in our community says something that's wrong or unfactual, I'm all about history. Teach me. Tell me the real shit. Tell me what really happened, right? So after that, that's why I didn't do my show. I was waiting to see how much information comes out about this. After that, Nick actually has a rabbi on his show. Amon Cooper or something Cooper is the name of the rabbi. And I thought this was going to be like a debate. Like, I thought the rabbi was going to tell me what Nick said was anti-Semitic. Like, tell me the words Nick said and break down for me how and why it was anti-Semitic. That's not what I got from it. I mean, the guy is on there attacking Farrakhan. He's making sure he mentions Farrakhan in this negative light. You know what I mean? It was some real weird shit to me. And even Farrakhan, the statements that Farrakhan have said, and again, prove me wrong, family. Show me some statements and show me how they're anti-Semitic. Farrakhan saying Hitler is a wickedly brilliant man. I mean, he was. He was. Wickedly. Keyword, wickedly brilliant. He was. Farrakhan referencing the Jews owning Hollywood, the Jews owning the music industry. Not owning, but Jewish men are in charge of a lot of these industries. There are Jewish men in high places in America, right? They control certain industries that allow certain things to go on. Meaning, a lot of music executives are Jewish. And they will sign an artist from the hood who will get on his song and say, bitch, nigga, fuck you, hoe ass nigga, right? On his song. Now, that's negative. That can have a negative effect on our community. So you mean to tell me that you will allow on your platform, under your watch, you will allow a black man to go with a black man and say, well, fuck you, nigga, I'm gonna kill you. But once somebody says, hey, Jewish people be on some bullshit, now all of a sudden you gotta ban them. Now all of a sudden they're anti-Semitic. Well, what do you call someone who speaks negatively about black people? What do you call someone who has been racist towards black people? Which Jewish people have as well, right? So I support the brother Nick. Everything that he's going through, I don't like the interview. I can't tell him how to do his job, but I don't like the interview. I don't like how I didn't really get much from the interview. I was trying to get a history, because it's a class, right? It's Canon's class. I was trying to get a history lesson on what is anti-Semitic so I can learn, so I can say, oh, Nick did say something that was, but if we speak in the truth, and if you speak in the truth in a raw manner, who the fuck can say something about that? You know what I mean? So I don't think the brother's comments was anti-Semitic. I rock with the brother Nick. Now, I am a fan of Canon's class. He's had Tariq Nasheed on the show. He's had Joey DeGru on the show. He's had some other powerful people on the show. And what I have to say, though, he's taken those shows off of his platform. Now, I haven't heard Nick speak about these things, but I didn't like that. Like, I don't like how another community of people can have so much control over us, because this rabbi was pretty fucking arrogant, y'all. If you haven't seen the episode of Canon's class with this rabbi, I suggest you watch it. He was pretty fucking arrogant, and he told Nick wanted to sit down with him, and he told him, I wouldn't sit down with you until you apologize. Like, what's up with all the fucking buck breaking, man? What do you gotta apologize for? Are you guys gonna apologize from what you've done to our community? Like, because he's speaking, and another thing, and I could be wrong, but listen to the man talk, listen to the white man talk. He is putting the Holocaust up here. Like, what happened to them is above everything. And yes, those years, it was a small number of years where Hitler actually killed a lot of people. And man, that was horrific. That was horrific. That shouldn't have happened. If you're a Jewish person, I understand why you feel that way about Hitler. But what about our Holocaust, right? That happened here in America, right? Right? And beyond. What about our Holocaust? We've been through a traumatic experience in this country as well, and I'm not going to let nobody negate that because we're not Jewish. You can't speak about the Holocaust talking about don't forget or don't, you know what I'm saying, whatever the mantra is that they use. Well, we're not going to forget neither, right? And another thing, like when it comes to these Jewish rabbis and all these people who call Farrakhan anti-Semitic, what I haven't seen in 30 years, and again, somebody can point me towards a video where maybe this have taken place, why haven't they sit down and talk with him? Like that to me, that's white supremacy, family. If you think somebody is so below you that, yeah, he's saying some shit you don't like, well, bring your smartest rabbi or your rabbi that got the truth, sit down across from Farrakhan and y'all talk about it. He's willing to talk. I've never heard this man say anything hateful. Everything he preaches is always out of love. Now, if you don't like the negative remarks about your history that he's spilling, disprove it. Sit down with the man and prove that what he's saying is false. You feel me? And I'm not sure if anybody in the Jewish community can actually do that. So I would like to hear, what did Nick Cannon say that was false? What did he lie about? I would think if you lied on a particular community, when they speak about it, they're going to say, hey, this is what he lied about. And I haven't heard anybody do that yet. You know what I mean? So, but online, I'm seeing a lot of people cancel or attempting to cancel Nick Cannon, and that whole cancel culture shit, y'all. We need to figure out a way to get rid of that, because I see people who just go to work every day, right? Come home, jump online. They're not doing nothing for their community. They're not doing nothing to empower their community. If you sharing Black Lives Matter shit online, my opinion, family, that don't really count as activism to me, right? But Nick Cannon, he's been in the trenches. Like, to be as successful as he is in this white power structure, to wear the turban, to continue to speak out when shit happens with us. Like, he's been a writer for a while now. So I'm not going to throw all that away because of one apology or one moment that may not have made him look a certain way, right? Excuse me. Because at the end of the day, that's still our brother, and we need to learn how to support people even when they may do. Now, if a black man has a track record of doing fuck shit, then he a coon, then he needs to be ostracized. I'm with that movement, family. If you continually come out and speak against us, my kids, younger people, they need to understand, okay, this is the kind of black man you do not want to be. I'm with that. But I'm not gonna just, every time somebody do something, I'm not just gonna jump out the window on them. You know what I mean? And we don't know what it's like to be rich in Hollywood. We don't know. We know Jewish people have control, but we don't know what they're holding over his head, right? But at the end of the day, also what I would say about that is you need to be aware of what can come from what you say, right? I sit on this platform and I speak about my opinions and my thoughts on what I see happening in the world, and I ain't apologizing for shit. Like, I ain't apologizing for shit. My heart is pure. My intentions aren't to hurt anybody, but I said what I said. I said what I said. You see what I'm saying? Now, again, if I had more to lose, if I had a lot to lose, then I may be more strategic. I may be more strategic and say, okay, I want Professor Griff to come on, like my brother Zoe Williams said. Maybe I'll have somebody else interview him. Maybe I'll have somebody else get that information. Maybe I won't, since I know Professor Griff knows a lot about what he's talking about, and he has the ability to give good information about history and educate people. I'll just ask him the questions. I won't necessarily interject with my opinion. I'll ask him the questions. You know what I mean? Because on the show, it's funny because Professor Griff told him, you know what you're doing? Like, you invited me on this show. I mean, you know what you can get yourself into by doing that. And Nick appeared, by his words, he appeared to understand that he can be ostracized for interviewing Professor Griff. He seemed as if he understood speaking truth to power, speaking on the wrong people can get you fucked up in the game when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your opportunities, as Viacom showed him. You know what I mean? He seemed to be a brother that understood the hot water he can be in by talking the way he was talking. But when the shit came down, you know what I mean? Like, I respect the brother Nick, man. I got a lot of respect for that brother, but I wouldn't have apologized. And if we're going to have a rabbi on the show, I would have respected him asking, Rabbi, now that you're here, Tell me what I said that was anti-Semitic. Are black people not the original Jews? If not, let's say I'm off. I'm completely wrong. Educate me on why somebody would say that. You can't just dismiss Farrakhan like he's a goddamn kid. He's talking about for 30 years, Farrakhan has been spreading hate in me. Nah, man. Nah. And again, Nick, he kind of got in there a little bit and expressed his agreement with Farrakhan, and he expressed the fact that Farrakhan rides for our community. So Nick did mention those things, but at the end of the day, it was like an imbalanced argument that I didn't learn anything from, because I was looking to see what did my brother say that was wrong, right? So he's getting ostracized and he's getting all these daggers thrown at him, and we don't even know what he said was wrong. So this is the price, family, of speaking truth to power. This is the price of speaking truth to power. They tell us freedom of speech. We do not have freedom of speech. That's bullshit. So like I said, you have freedom of speech, but goddamn it, you gotta watch what you say. You know what I mean? So I ride with the brother Nick. All of us should ride with the brother Nick. Especially everybody in our community, man, if you're not doing nothing for our community, if you're not out in the trenches protesting, supporting black businesses, being a part of community activism work, like if you're not doing shit, you can't just be online shooting daggers at people. Man, I'm getting tired. I love the internet and I love social media. It's allowed me to expand my platform. It's allowed me to do business with people all across the world. Like, it's a fantastic communication tool, right? Like, I completely understand that. But we got too many goddamn keyboard gangsters. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got too many goddamn keyboard gangsters. We got too many people. We got too many people in this society who just sit behind a computer and spew all kind of shit when they ain't even got to be in it like that. You know what I mean? When they're not even a part of what's going on out here. So let's be realistic, family. Let's support our brother Nick. Now, he could be playing chess. You feel me? So I give people a chance, right? I don't know what he could be doing behind the scenes. He could have experienced this. Now he gonna come back with more of an ownership take, because what was interesting to me too, and this is something I didn't know, right? Getting fired from Viacom, I'm thinking Wildin' Out is his show. Now I understand it's his creation. It's something he came up with, but we gotta do a better job of getting into the true ownership of shit. Because if this is something and this is just my opinion, if this is something you created, how the fuck they fire you from something you created? Now he's fighting to get back his intellectual property. I don't know how all that transpired. I don't know how that part of business works, but that's something we got to figure out too. Because he should have been able to walk away. Okay, y'all want to fire me? Give me my shit. I'll walk away. You see what I'm saying? And hopefully now he understands that because of how he speaks, start your own platform. Put Wildin' Out on YouTube. Like, do the whole setup structure and just put it on YouTube. Again, I don't know the logistics behind that. I don't know how difficult that may be, but we need to start moving in that direction. So I'm gonna continue to support the brother Nick. I think we should continue to support him, and we should all seek truth to power. If he said something that was false, let me know what he said. So as a black community, as a melanated community, we can correct ourselves. Okay, boom. This is because really anti-Semitic statements to me is anything negative about somebody Jewish. Who the fuck are y'all? Who the fuck died and made y'all God? Why can't nobody say shit about y'all? But I can get on a song and say, nigga, I'ma kill you? Man, you know what I'm saying? So logically, even without me knowing a lot of the history about Jewish people, besides the Holocaust and the basic things that most people know, I'm just talking common sense, family. I'm just talking common sense. That ain't power? That you say something about somebody Jewish and you lose your fucking job? But Nick can go on his podcast and say, I want to kill every nigga. If he went on there and said, I want to kill every nigga in America, they ain't gonna fire him. So what are we talking about? So it's okay to degrade us? It's okay to degrade us, to degrade our women, to be misogynistic, to be all these things hip-hop is, even though I love it? That's okay? But you can't say some historical facts about Jewish people, about this country? Where are we living at, man? You know what I mean? How fair is that? You see what I'm saying? So, man, look, we got to do a better at sticking with each other. Like I said, I'm still right with my brother Nick. I don't know how, I don't know how all this is going to turn out for him, but I ride with him. I think we all should. And this is a lesson to all of us. You know what I mean? If you're going to speak truth to power, be prepared. Because how I feel at this point, I love my people so much, and I want to see my people progress so much that I'm going to speak how I need to speak to empower my people. Whoever it makes mad, I don't give a shit. Like, no job, there's no company that's going to be able to tell me what I can't or can't say. I know people who, because of their standing in society, because of where they work, they don't say certain shit on social media. Like, they feel a particular way, but they don't express that on social media, or they don't express that on any of the platforms they got. They don't express that at work. I'm not going to be no goddamn slave to this system. Fuck money. Fuck. Now, again, I ain't never been rich, but even so, there's ways to maneuver without putting your tail between your legs. You feel me? You know what I mean? So I'm not going to judge the brother Nick. I don't know what he's going through. We all should continue to support him and whatever his next endeavors is going to be, because he got the Sabi documentary coming up. He's been a part of black projects. He's been aligning himself with men that I'm aware of that are extremely conscious, that are extremely empowering, and I'm going to give a brother a shot. You feel me? Man, so look, man, this has been another episode, y'all, of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show today. Like I said, if this is your first time tuning into the show, please go to Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Not only will you see this podcast, but you will see information about history. You will see videos of men and women from the past, even some present, that speak truth to power and have messages that we all need to hear. So please go to the YouTube page. That's Melanated Fathers TV. If you haven't been to the website, if you haven't been to the website lately, which is melanatedfathers.com, go to the website, read the news stories, share the news stories, read the History Matters section. There's a community forum section where I tie in a lot of the videos that I post on the Melanated Fathers TV page. The community forum section has a lot of articles about parenting, has a lot of parenting tips, has a lot of important information that we all should be taking in. So do me a favor and go to the website if you haven't done so recently. I want to thank everybody again for tuning into the show. You can follow me on Instagram at Southpaw_100. Southpaw_100. That's my personal Instagram page. The Instagram page for the organization and for this show is Melanated Fathers of America. That's Melanated Fathers, so it's Melanated Fathers of America's Instagram page. That's where you find clips from the show, different information that I like to share. So I'm going to continue riding with y'all, man. I really enjoy coming and just letting everybody know how I feel, just getting shit off my chest, right? This is my way of venting. Like, people, I see people all the time. Like, social media is such a beautiful tool. I see people all the time using their social media pages to get their message out, whether it be celebrating a birthday, whether it be saying what you did today, whether it be like a positive, uplifting message. Like, I enjoy a lot of the things that I see, but this is my way of giving back. This is my way of talking to my people and communicating different messages that I want to convey. So again, man, thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. I'm out.